So my name's Afrodeutsche. We're here in Manchester in my studio, and we're about to look at a track called WASP. So this track is called WASP. Basically, I think I have a wasp's nest on my roof, and I've been collecting wasps. They've been around, I've been finding them dead around the flat, and I needed to make some music, so basically called this one WASP after collecting lots of them. They scared the shit out of me. But yeah, this one's called WASP. It's probably my more sort of housey, sort of jacking house rave kind of track. It's kind of the mood that I was in when I was making it. Usually I start with drums. I like to use a pack called Vengeance and Perk for all my like core drums. Let's have a look in here. Where are we? No, Vengeance this time. So let's have a look and see what I've used in here. Yeah, so I've used lots of Vengeance drums, and I usually start by making a kick drum and then just playing around with the sound of the kick drum once I've got something going. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I usually start by making a kick and then duplicating all the drums that I've done into into other drums. So for this one I've used like a 909. So I'll start by, making these drums here, and then let's have a look, see what I've done. Okay. And the reason I like to duplicate the drums as I go along just means I can stay within a groove and I don't get lost. So let's see what happens next. Oh, added some subs in there. Okay, I really like that. Okay, and then I'll just see what they sound like with the 909. Snare, okay. I'm really dry on all of the stuff because basically I get really impatient when I'm making music, so it tends to be a lot later in the day that I'll do any kind of like, I don't know, manipulating of the sound, and usually it's just reverb on stuff, so things are pretty clean when they go in. It's just more about levels and sort of balancing them when I go to master the track, but they are dry, pretty much dry. Oh, no, they're not. I use something called sausage fattener. Sausage fattener on pretty much everything. So let's have a look. Yeah, so let's maybe have a listen to it without sausage fattener. So this is the 909, the claps, kicks, snares, and hats. That's without the sausage fattener. And then with. Just like a tiny little bit of a lift. Yeah, once I'm sort of happy with the drums and where they are, I usually sort of throw in some sort of bass line. I like to use the Matrix, Arturia Matrix synth here. Let's see if I can just enable this. Forget which one I've used. Well, all right. Okay, so let's have a listen to this one. Okay, and I quite like to play with octaves as well. So what will usually happen is I'll have some sort of groove happening in a higher octave and a lower octave, just to sort of, it feels like it brings it together in some kind of way. Let's see if I can prove this point. Probably not. Let's see. Oh, it's just on the other side. That's a different one. Okay, cool. Okay, so I didn't do it with that one. Okay, so let's have another look at this side. What have I used here? Yeah, it was a matrix synth again for the other bass lines. Let's see. Yeah, that's a different one. Enable it. Yeah. Okay, so what it looks like I've done is I've split the bass to left and right. I'm not sure why I've done that. I think I just wanted to make some space within the groove, but let's have a listen and see. Yeah, I did. Okay. Again, I'm really impatient when it comes to making music, so what I'll end up doing is I might have a bass line in my mind and I will literally skip through the presets in sort of basses here on the Matrix synth. I tend to use similar ones. The Deep House bass JB is a favourite of mine. But yeah, I'll have a bass line in my mind and then I'll just skip through each preset, and then when I'm happy with one, once I've sort of noodled with it and had a bit of a play, then if something hits, then I'll just record it and just keep that. So once I've kind of got like the basic elements like running through the track, I'll tend to sort of like noodle over stuff until I'm sort of happy with like a shape of the bass line or a pattern of the drums or whatever. And then I will just go to record from the very beginning. So I'll start with playing the kick drums, and I'll just arm it so everything's recording, and then it's basically a freestyle thing. So I'll just like start triggering other clips when I feel it's time for them to sort of come in. And I tend not to record by enabling like a whole clip, because I like to sort of make it probably more difficult for myself, but I tend to like to jump around the elements that I've made. But I think with this one, I think I was that impatient that I just wanted to get it all sort of together and just be able to play with those in that way. So yeah, I think I did with this one. Okay, so there's another element to this track, because I decided to use this track in a live sense, just put it into the live show. What I like to do is when I take a track to live, especially if I've written it for live, I won't have all of the elements in there so that I can play the other elements that are missing in a live sense. And I use the Novation X Station for sort of like more heavier, weightier synths, and again, presets, 230, it's called Backwards. And this one is super ravey. Okay, so this isn't recorded in this track, but let's see where it sort of comes in. So in the recorded version, there's like more hi-hats and things that come in, and so when I'm playing, I just get really excited and start dancing around and then play all the synths wrong, like you just heard. So it's kind of like a situation where I kind of keep elements out so that I can play them live. Okay, so now I'm in arrangement view just to see the full track, and where are the synths? Okay. So when I go to record, I'll just launch the drums and I'll play all the drums and get sort of like a core structure of where the track is. Let's just keep those in play. Sounds like some synths are in there as well. Just because I armed the synths, because that's not what I meant to do. I meant to just do the drums. Here we go. Yeah, so I'll just record all the drums for like the entire track. So this one is like 3.5 minutes long. So I'll just trigger each clip as I feel fit when they come in. And then if I feel like there needs to be some sort of break at some point, I'll fit that in with the triggers. And then I will either record the bass lines like freehand over the top, or I will use the clips that I've already used. And I think with this one, I actually just triggered the clips once I was happy with the arrangement of the drums. Let's see here. That's from the beginning again. Yeah. And so at some points, I love reverb, so I'll just throw reverb in on drums just to give them that space. If I've sent the drums like left and right, then I feel that helps sort of like make sort of this weird sort of space thing. I use the word space a lot, but like, yeah, just creating some atmosphere, I guess. Maybe, yeah, and on the bass lines as well, so maybe just have a listen to... Yeah, just to make some space on those bass lines, which can tend to sound quite straight during the track. So, so maybe you can see here on the bass line, done some reverb, and again, some more reverb here. Let's see what this sounds like. Here we go. So I tend to use a lot of reverb on everything, and so I just use Ableton's built-in reverb here, and I tend to use it from which view is it again? Arrangement and session view. So I usually use it on session view. So here you can see there's like a orange dot just to show that I've actually used the reverb here. But what I'll usually do as well is I will MIDI map my controller to the delay and the reverb in Ableton so that I can play with those again in a live sense, but also if I'm recording and I just want to throw reverb or delay on something, I can use these as controllers rather than actually using the mouse on here. So you can see that, oh no, there we go. So I've mapped it so that I can use the reverb here. Yeah. So I'm actually all about arrangement when it comes to making music, but I've realised that I come from a couple of banks when it comes to making music. I'll either be like super emotional and it's a reaction, or it's like a way of like processing some kind of emotion, or I'll just want to dance. So this one especially was very much I just want to dance and I just want to have a nice time. So when I build the drums and that sort of arrangement, I'm thinking about dancing, I'm thinking about moving. So there will be like moments of breaks, but I'm also quite relentless when it comes to a bass line. Like I like it to drive, like I think that it holds you through the music if you have something that's just sort of underneath you. And then when it comes to sort of melody and groove, again, I'm pretty relentless, like quite hard with it. So especially with this one I'm just obsessed with, I'm just going to play it. I can play that on repeat like all day long. So yeah, something for me is really important, is something that carries you through the music. So yeah, bass lines and sort of like melodies being sort of like driven. And yeah, so like arrangements tend to sort of be with me thinking that I want to have a nice time and dance, really. So yeah. Something I learned to do quite late on when I started playing, when I ended up playing live, was trying to sort of master the live set, and that sort of technique moved into the recording situation. So it's quite a simple setup, just everything dropped on the master channel, just an EQ8. I've also got a limiter on there, it's Ableton's limiter. I use a BB Sonic Maximizer here, and I couldn't actually tell you exactly what it does, but when I play around with these dials, stuff happens, and then when I'm sonically happy with it, then I'll go with it. And then I drop a spectrum analyzer on there, which I pretend that I understand what it does, but it kind of does this all the time. And I think what I've learned to do is get another spectrum analyzer in and try and learn the language of that better, because this for me, it isn't as detailed as it needs to be. But again, super impatient, so I just buzz around with this BBE sonic maximizer more than anything. Thanks for watching. I actually have an album out on a label called Scam. That's available on Bleep. It's called Break Before Make. And yeah, thank you for watching.